Okay, so if you're thinking about it, I'm going to go through how to use it. And if you do want to upgrade and become a commercial member, all you have to do is contact our membership department in order to do so by sending them an email. I'm going to go ahead and put that email in the chat real quick so everyone has access to it. It's membership at miamire.com. Okay, excellent. All right. So, in order to access the commercial member-to-member platform, you have to go into your gateway. And if you are a commercial member, you're not going to find the commercial member-to-member platform in your home dashboard. You're going to need to switch this dashboard. You're going to need to click this button. And there's a lot of commercial agents that don't know to do this. This is why I want to cover this. You have to click this button and then you can access your commercial dashboard. Okay. What that does is it's going to show you all of our commercial product and services that will allow you to help your customer. Okay. Now, before we jump into the member to member system, before I go into the commercial member to member platform, there's just a couple of things that I just want to talk about that you guys have access to when it comes to commercial membership inside of this gateway. Okay, one service I just want to cover real quick is Deely. Deely is a LOI system, also known as a letter of intent system. What that's going to allow you to do is take advantage of templates that they've created for you, or you're going to be able to upload any of your templates that you have when you write commercial letter of intents. Okay, what is an LOI, just in case you don't know what that means? An LOI is the beginning phases. What it is it's going to lay out all of what your potential buyer is looking to do within their transaction. An LOI is not a legal document unless it's executed and attached to a purchase contract. The biggest benefit of an LOI is it helps that potential buyer, but more importantly, it makes that transaction smoother and it clarifies the intent of what the buyer's looking for as well. If you're a residential agent, you also have this button in your dashboard as well. And you can use it for residential as well. I would encourage you to use it also for residential because, again, what it does is it should lay the groundwork specifically for what that buyer is looking to do when it comes to not just that transaction, but more or less what they're looking for when it comes to the deal itself. Okay, now the other thing I just want to touch base on here in this dashboard is a very, very important button that we have here where it says Muni Code. Okay, so Muni Code, what that is this is provided directly from Florida, state of Florida. What we're going to be able to do is look up all of our zoning districts here and also look up the meanings of individual use codes when it comes to commercial and residential property as well. Very, very important that we understand that. For example, what is a B1 district? What is a B2 district or a C1 district? We're going to be able to look that up here using Municode, and we're going to be able to look that up by the county. For example, if the property that we're looking at falls under unincorporated, maybe Miami-Dade, we would want to go directly to the county section of Municode. But if the property that we're analyzing falls under a city, we could go to Municode as well and then search by where that property is based on its city. Okay, there's other amazing integrations in here as well, including CompStack. CompStack you do have to register for, and you do get a discount as well, a 10% discount to be more specific. And I love CompStack because it will help you. It's in the very beginning of the name. It will help you create CMAs, comparative market analysis reports, when you're trying to analyze maybe a property. And CompStack is also good for land developing as well, letting us know what we might be able to build on each potential piece of land, including setbacks and our buildable square footage areas. Okay. The other thing I want to focus on is we also created an amazing due diligence checklist located right here. And consumers also have the ability on the miamirealtors.com website, if you ever have a listing that's commercial, we have a public facing portal called South Florida Commercial Property Search right here. Okay, just wanted to go over a couple of those different things. Also, further down over here in the bottom left, you have a little button for commercial resources, which will show you all of our amazing benefits from us, your local Miami board, all the way up to the National Association of Realtors as well. All right. Okay. So without further ado, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go directly into the commercial member to member platform in order to go over best practices when using the system. Okay, now as soon as you go directly into the commercial member to member platform, it's going to take you directly to the dashboard where you can quickly create a broadcast, look at listings as well. And when I say listings, the listings that you can find here are the same listings that you can find in the MLS. And you can also find listings that might not appear anywhere else that is only searchable here in the commercial member to member platform. There is a lot of off market commercial listings located here that you might not find anywhere else. Another very important thing, if you ever want to broadcast using commercial member to member, you want to know about the member to member rules. We're going to cover that in just a moment. But what can I broadcast and what should I broadcast? What is a broadcast? Okay, so a broadcast is whenever you're working with a seller or a buyer. Okay, so when you're working with a buyer, right? And maybe they're looking for a warehouse, maybe in the Medley market that needs to be, for example, maybe 2,000 square foot. The ceiling height needs to be somewhere around 30 square foot in the back end of the warehouse. And you're looking everywhere. You're looking in the MLS, maybe you're going to RPR, maybe you're looking at listings in third party channels as well, and you're not able to find exactly what your customer is needing. You can create a broadcast whenever you have a want or a need for a commercial buyer. The other reason why you can broadcast is whenever you have a commercial listing on or off of the market. What that's going to do, if you ever have a listing and you want to create a broadcast, it's going to let all 2,600 commercial members know. They'll get an email either individually based on your listing, or your broadcast will show up in their daily digest. Daily digest means that they've selected to receive one email from the member to member system for all broadcasts messages that were submitted that day. We're going to do a deep dive on what I mean by that in just a moment. So again, broadcast one more time is great whenever you have a want and need for a client, or maybe you're trying to let all of our commercial agents know when you have a listing for sale or for rent. Okay. Now over here, we're going to touch base on this in a little bit. Again, you can look for listings. Over here on the right, we can set up our profile, specifically setting up how frequently we receive emails from commercial members. We also have the ability where we see professionals to go through the directory of agent information in order to find agents maybe in our local market to reach out to see if they maybe have a buyer or a seller. So for example, maybe I want to reach out to an agent in the medley area. I can type in medley, and then that's going to show me all of our registered members located in that area that I can reach out to and say, hey, I have a want and need for my commercial client. Are you able to help me maybe locate a property in your area? For example, a lot of commercial properties are sold off market. This is going to be their territory. They're going to be driving around, right? They're going to see for sale signs that are up. They might be able to help you find that commercial deal. All right. Okay. So again, that is specifically under the professionals button. You are going to notice though, some agents, they do not have their photo added. Okay. So if you want to make sure that your photo shows up in the commercial member to member system, you actually have to add your photo inside of the MLS system. So you have to make sure that you add your photo by going directly into the MLS. So you do have to access specifically Matrix. Okay. So when you're in your commercial dashboard, in order to access Matrix, you go right here to the South Florida Commercial MLS. If you're in your home dashboard, it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to look like this, where you see the Core Logic Matrix button. In order to add your photo, so whenever you create that broadcast, your agent image shows up. In order to add it, you're going to go right here where you see Add and Edit in Matrix. And then once you click on Add and Edit, you're going to go right here where you see Roster. And then you're going to enter your license number. You're going to go right here. You're going to enter your license number. You're going to click on Edit. And then right here where you see Manage Photos, once you browse through your computer, you're going to be able to upload your photo that appears inside of the commercial member to member platform. Now, if you upload your photo, it does need to take about 2 to 3 hours for your agent photo to show up inside of their platform. Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I cover how to add your agent photo inside of the commercial member to member platform. Again, we got to do that specifically in the Matrix system. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to cover is under your settings, located over here in the top right, is how you can tell the system how frequently you want to receive emails from other agents. Okay. So again, we're going to come over here in the top right where we see our name. All right. And if you want, there's a couple of some interesting things that you can do here. If you do have a widescreen, you can switch your whole experience using this platform to be more widescreen. And you can remove any of the obstructed views. But other than that, that's really all you can do other than updating your profile. So again, when you come up here in the top right, if you go into update your profile, all of the information that's fed into the system pulls from the dashboard under this button. So if you want to update your account information, you go directly into the dashboard. You can verify your information via the Miami dashboard, or if you want to update your contact information, cell phone numbers, email addresses, you do so by coming up here in the top right, where you either see your initials or your photo, and then you click on My Account, and then under contact information, all of the information that shows up here under the commercial member to member platform. We can't edit it here. We can't change it here. It loads from, again, this menu in the main dashboard under my account when I go to contact information. So if my cell phone number, email address is incorrect, I need to update that here. Click on update. 2 hours from now, all of my information is going to update here under the commercial member to member platform. Okay. Realistically, the main thing that you do in this section is to set up your email preferences. So I'm going to do that again. Right up here where you see email preferences, this is where you get to tell commercial member to member If you want to receive emails, so under opt-in, if I do want to receive emails from other commercial agents, I click on yes. If I don't, I click on no. And this is the most, not complicated, but the most frequently asked question when it comes to commercial agents when they use this platform. Sometimes agents feel like they get inundated with a bunch of broadcast emails. So if you click on real time means that you're going to get an email each and every time an agent creates a broadcast for listings or if they ask questions when it comes to wants and needs. And then you have Daily Digest, which will give you one email, which will include all broadcasts from all agents when it comes to listings or when they have wants and needs. Just needed to make sure I highlight that. Very, very important part. So again, in order to set up your email preferences, you start here in the top right. You click on Update Profile. You go into your email preferences in order to set that up. Okay. All right, let me jump in the chat real quick. I think I got a question. Sadie, to gain the access, you must have commercial certificate. No, Sadie, good question. You do not have to have the commercial certification. No, you just have to be a commercial member in specific. Now, the cost for commercial membership would be either $105 or $125. It just depends on your commercial member. I mean, not your commercial membership, but rather your membership with the board. Okay. If you want to know if it's the 105 or the 125, you have to go into the main gateway, into your main dashboard right here. And then you have to click on this icon. You have to go into this button right here, the Miami dashboard. This will tell you if it's going to be the 105 or the 125 a year. And the reason why there's a $20 difference is if you're a realtor or if you're a realtor associate member. Okay. So for example, right here, mine's a realtor member. What that means is it would be the 105 in order to add the commercial membership. So I get access to commercial marketing and not to mention the commercial member to member platform. But if it says realtor associate, either here or here, right here under membership type, that means that you need to pay the 125. That means I'm taking my membership from realtor associate to realtor, and then I'm also paying for that commercial membership as well. Okay, good question. Very good question. Wanted to make sure I answered that one as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and close these out real quick. All right, perfect. All right, now the next thing that I just want to make sure I cover is how to get back into your main screen if you do decide to update your contact information. So if you do update your email preferences and you want to verify that your email address, cell phone number came through when you did that through the main dashboard and you want to go back, you go right here. Click on the logo, that puts you right back into the main screen. Okay. Next thing that we're going to cover is how you can search for listings. And when you're using the commercial member to member platform, I want to make sure I mention you want to be very, very general when you're looking for commercial listings. What I mean by that is you just want to simply enter the areas that you want to look up. Now, the commercial member to member platform will be going through some modifications soon where we can add some amazing filters so that if I want to dial in just looking for business opportunities, I can. If I want to just look at my lease options, I can. For now, what I would suggest is to simply enter the area that you want to look up. So right here, when I type in the city, I click on search, it's going to give me a mixture of business opportunity sales, commercial leases, and I can also find my commercial sales as well. All right. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to say is you do have the ability here. There's a little obstructed view, this little button there under your name option. You do have the ability to, let me go ahead and close that real quick. You do have the ability to change your views as you look at each individual listing or as you look at your dashboard. Okay. So right now I'm in the standard view. But if I want to switch it to looking at all of these commercial properties based on architectural style, that's where this little obstructed view comes into play. If I turn it off and close it, this will allow me to change the view as I'm searching. So I can look at just the business type if I want. I can also search by architectural style as well within the MLS. Okay. My opinion, though, when it comes to the commercial member-to-member platform, again, my opinion, just simply search by location, including zip code. You can even type in the type of transaction. It'll just give you those types, as you can see. But we cannot add overlay to our search. What I mean by overlay is adding multiple sets of criteria. Just gotta make sure that I say that. Again, you guys know me if you've taken classes with me before. I teach as a troubleshooter. I don't want anyone stuck using these platforms. So again, less is going to be more in specific. Okay, now if I search, right? So for example, I'm going to go back into my Doral search. What I can do is access the listing details to get more information about that property. Okay. When I do that, I do have the ability to, on the left, I can add this unit directly to my favorites right here. Okay. I also can view attachments pertinent to the transaction. All right. That will allow me to jump to see if there is any specific attachments. And if there is, I can download the file that they have. Whoops. Ooh. Okay, let me go back. There you go. All right. And then from there, I also have the ability to email this property record directly to maybe my client. What that does is it takes all of the information here that's viewable about the listing, including the details. This will make this a presentation that I can submit directly to my customer. Okay. All right, just wanted to make sure I went over that. Now, the other thing, let me go out real quick, is if I want to add this to my calendar, I can as well. If I want to look at the metrics performance of this listing, I can also do that as well. Further down, it gives me the listing number, the type of property, the leasable price per square foot if it is a rental, the lot size, most important, the zoning information, including the zoning code, the square footage, business type, and as I go down, I also get the agent's contact information, the location of the unit, the building specifications, and where that unit is located on the map provided by Mapbox as well. Okay, so again, when you're searching for listings, again, one more time, I would suggest a search based on location and then go through all of the listings. Okay, now if you've used this platform maybe yesterday and you forgot to favorite that listing under this little listings bar that only shows up if you do not obstruct your view, you will have the ability here to find all of your recent listings that you were looking at earlier. You can also look at listings via the map perspective as well. It's another great way to search. So if you know South Florida like the back of your hand and you don't want to use filters, but instead you would want to jump directly to the map to find active and available listings, you can. Just zoom in right here. Once you find one you want to view, you just click on view, and then that will give you the individual detail of that listing. All right, perfect. Just wanted to go over that. Also within this menu, under the main dashboard, you also have the ability to view any of our tutorials. So, for example, I'm recording this now. I'm going to put this on our YouTube channel towards the end of the week, but if you want to see other videos, other tutorials on how to use the commercial member-to-member platform, you would just go right here under tutorials. That's going to give you our playlist on how to use this amazing system. Okay. All right. Let me jump in the chat real quick. All right, Nicole, can we modify the seller broker contact for the buyer broker contact, and can we advertise it to the buyer broker website? Okay, Nicole, are you referring to broadcasting? Can we modify the seller broker contact for the buyer broker? Oh, you're talking about I know what you're talking about. The PDF, the PDF. Oh, no, that's a good, I've meant to mention that and I forgot. No. So if you do decide to use the PDF option, the agent's information shows up. So it's not like the MLS where I can go into a client-friendly view to not disclose that information. Love that question. I meant to mention it. Thank you for reminding me. There's not a way to remove that. Good, good question. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're going to keep going, guys. Now, the next thing that I want to cover is the broadcasting part. That's going to be the next thing that I discuss. Now, all of the menus you see here, you can also access all of your menu details here, over here in the top left. This little top bar gives you the same exact overlays that we have right here in the middle of the page. Okay. Now, before we create a broadcast, I'm going to demo how to create a broadcast. First thing I got to stress before we create a broadcast is the rules, specifically the member-to-member rules. Why do I say that? We do have the compliance department that does check on a weekly basis to make sure that you are abiding by these rules. I do not want anyone to receive a possible fine notice, so I want to cover that most importantly right here where we see the M2M, the member-to-member rules. All right, I'm going to go and put this in the chat so where everyone has access to this information. And we're going to go through this just real quick, just real quick. Okay. All right. So right here, and member-to-member rules. Very first thing that we're just going to knock out real quick is the member-to-member email system is only for the marketing of commercial properties when it comes to haves and needs. So that's going to include office spaces, industrial, land, business opportunities, multifamily. Any other type of marketing is strictly prohibited. So that means anything that is, for example, residential. We cannot go into the commercial member-to-member system to broadcast residential property, with exception to multifamily. I'm going to explain what I mean by that as we go down. Examples of prohibited marketing include, but are not limited to, offers or the existence of compensation, residential properties, recruitment ads, and the advertising of other services such as lending and title. However, properties with single family residents that may be upzoned by right are permitted in the M2M email system. An example, for example, the city of Miami, based on density within their transect zoning, T4 zoning or higher is fine. Okay. Now, as I go down, we also have the next part. International properties are also permitted as long as they comply with the rules. So again, it does say we can put international commercial property, but I have to say something. I have to say something. I would want to make sure that you have the prerequisites to list properties in countries outside of the United States. I just have to stress that. There is some countries, for example, Costa Rica in specific, where you do have to have you have to live there, most of the time throughout the year in order to list properties in that country. So always abide by local laws, and you want to make sure that all of your agreements are recognized by that's that country, but more importantly, that municipality as well. Okay, now as we go down, number three, when marketing commercial properties, you must have a written agreement. There it is, to exclusively list. So we have to have a listing agreement, co-broker or co-market the property upon request. So I can't just go into the commercial member-to-member system and just post something for a buddy of mine. It has to be one of the following. Exclusively, I'm listing it. Co-broker or co-marketing the property. Upon request, this agreement shall be provided to the association within 2 business days. What that means is that the commercial, specifically the MLS department, they can ask you for documentation to make sure that what you're advertising, that you have the prerequisites in order to do so. All right, though. So as we go on, right there, a member to member is not a prospecting tool, so we can't use it to necessarily to prospect for as well other potentially other agents. All right, now as we go down, you may send a maximum. This is the part that I got to stress right here. You may send a maximum of 2 different emails per day, up to 8 total emails per month. Okay. In the member to member system, emails may be for an individual property or business opportunity, or emails may include a list of summary of inventory properties or business opportunities. Okay, so if I have a bunch of commercial deals, right, it can include a summary of inventory, properties, or business opportunities. But this is where people get a little confused. Okay, let me just kind of emphasize this part one more time. All right, so again, you may send a maximum of 2 different emails per day, up to 8 total emails per month. But here's where people get it wrong. They forget about this, the fifth rule. You may market a property twice within 14 days. That's the part where people get a little confused, and then they may get a notification from the MLS department. Okay, because some of us stop at rule 4 and forget to go down to rule 5. Okay. All right, so we're almost done with the rules. Okay, here we are. Number 6, the individual sending the member-to-member email must be a member in good standing with the Miami Realtors, have a current Miami commercial membership, and the primary contact for the property or business opportunity. Anyone who violates this section and is a member of Miami Realtors but does not have membership with Miami Commercial will automatically be billed for a Miami Commercial membership. Okay. All right. Number 7, your use of the member-to-member email system must also comply with the then current versions of the NAR Code of Ethics, Miami Realtors bylaws, Miami Realtors antitrust policy, Miami Realtors privacy policy, Miami Realtors rules and regulations, Miami Realtors terms of use. In addition, your use of M2M email system must comply with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, regulations, and ordinances. This includes, but is not limited to, copyright. So I need to be the owner of the photos if I'm taking them, or if I have a photographer taking them, I need to make sure that I have permission in order to use them. Antitrust, and of course, we want to make sure that we're abiding by fair housing laws as well. You may not make any offers of compensation through the member-to-member platforms because they are integrated within the MLS. Just got to make sure I say that. Number 9, you may not disclose on member-to-member listing broker compensation or total broker compensation, if any. And then number 10, all right, use of M2M data feeds or services, including but not limited to email broadcasts, to directly or indirectly establish or maintain a platform to make offers of compensation from multiple brokers to buyer brokers or other tenant buyer representatives is prohibited and may result in a member-to-member terminating your access to the M2M data feeds or services. This disclosure in the M2M in any way of the total compensation, which includes but is not limited to commission, if any, negotiated between the owner, seller, and the listing broker, or total broker compensation, combined compensation to both listing broker and tenant buyer brokers, is prohibited. Okay. Now, can we text the agent? With all of this said, can we text the agent outside of the MLS? Of course. Of course. Can we email? Of course. When it comes to asking these questions, that's fine. But it needs to happen outside of the platform. That's what we're saying here. All right, number 11, as we go down, you agree that any content you submit on the M2M email system does not and will not violate third-party rights of any kind, including without limitation to any intellectual properties, rights, or rights of privacy. Okay. All right. We're almost done. We're on to the last one here. All right, number 12, you are solely responsible for the content you submit through the M2M email system. You agree to not submit any content that may create a risk and harm, any harm, loss, or damage to any person or property seeks to harm or exploit vulnerable populations, may constitute or contribute to a crime or tort, contains any information or content that we deem to be unlawful, harmful, abusive, racially or ethnically offensive, defamatory, infringing, invasive, or personal privacy or publicity rights, I should say, harassing, humiliating to other people, public or otherwise, libelous, threatening, profane, obscene, or otherwise objectionable. Contains any information on content that is illegal, contains any information or content that you do not have a right to make available under any law or under contractual or fiduciary relationships, and or contains any information or content that you may know is not and correct or current, I should say. All right, so that's just a quick little breakdown of the rules, guys. Just need to give that little preface before I go into how to broadcast. Okay, so I'm going to demo real quick. The last thing that we're going to go ahead and do before I let you guys go is how to create a commercial broadcast. So that's where we're going to go next. Over here on the left, I'm going to click on broadcast, and of course, we're going to make this very easy to understand. All right, so that it's super easy. How to add photos, how to add your descriptions when you create it. Now, when you first click on creating a broadcast, it automatically adds the block that you see here with your contact information. Again, all of this pulls directly from your resource panel, specifically under your My Account section. So again, if it's wrong, you just have to go through the dashboard in order to update your contact information. So again, this is going to be a email blast that all commercial agents receive. So under the subject, this is going to be the very first thing that shows up in their email box. So I'm just going to pretend just real quick that we have an office located in the Doral area. I'm going to put Doral office available in Doral office available for sale. Act now. Just as a quick little preface there. And then from there, if you want, for example, maybe you have an email blast, a campaign system that you already use, you can enter HTML code. So if you've already created a draft of an email and you have the email template and you have the HTML code, you do have the ability to click on source and then copy paste the HTML code, and then you can have it automatically format. If you don't, you do have the ability to automatically start from scratch in order to create that advertisement. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to create a little property description that I've preloaded that we're going to throw into the email broadcast here. All right, so let me go ahead and open up my page. All right, so here it is. I'm just going to say that this is going to be the beginnings of my email blast here. Okay, so I'm going to go right here, put the office is located in Doral, Florida at 950 square foot, priced at 450,000. The office building is a Class A and was built in 2020 with modern technology in mind. The office is suited for professional use and is equipped with utilities, including electric, fiber optics, water lines. Schedule a showing by contacting me directly. All right. The reason why I got rid of my information, you probably noticed I loaded in there my contact information and I did remove it. The reason I did that is it's already right here on the left. Okay. Now, you do have the ability, if you want, you can add photos or attachments, anything pertinent to that transaction. Maybe you want to add, maybe you're selling multifamily units and you want to add the cap rate. Maybe you have a PDF that goes over the financials for the deals that you have. You can add PDFs and JPEGs. But if you want to add photos, maybe you're broadcasting like I am to describe that we have an office that's for sale in the Doral area and you want to add photos, you can add it under the attachments, but it's not going to show up as a photo when the agent opens that email blast. This system is very copy paste friendly, or you also have the ability to jump directly into your computer as well. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Let me close out some of my little bars that I have open here. You can go directly into your computer. And if you have the photos of the listing from there, all you have to do is locate them inside of your computer, and it's easy as a drag and drop. Okay, it's easy as a drag and drop. Now you may have a problem. Let me see what it said. This upload was renamed to, okay, you renamed it. Where'd the photo go? Hold on. Let me see what happened here. Sometimes it does get a little finicky. So that's the main reason why I'm trying to teach you how to troubleshoot it. So let me try to add that photo again. Processing. There you go. Okay. That time it saved it. So sometimes when it gets a little finicky like that, just drag and drop again, and it should allow you to keep it. Okay. Now here's the other thing. That photo is humongous. Okay. So as you add photos, if you copy paste it, or if you drag and drop it, just like I did, double click on the photo. What that's going to allow you to do is you can change the width or the border size. So for example, I can shrink this thing in half to half the size, to 600 width with height. That is how I effectively make the image just a little bit smaller. So I can double click on it. What that's going to allow me to do is if I want to enter a link, so if somebody clicks on the photo and I want it to go to maybe I want it to go to my website, right? So if they click on the photo and I want them to go to my website, or maybe I have this property listed on a third party platform, right? I can enter if they click on it where I want that lead capture to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this go directly to my website. I'm going to go ahead and put in my name, copy it. All right, that's gonna, if they click on the photo, it's gonna take them directly to, for example, my website. If I want to add any other images while I'm here, I could also add images. And under advanced, if I want to add specific, more breakdown on the size, height requirements, add maybe an additional title to the very top of the image I can as well within this section. Okay. All right, we're going to make this nice and super simple. We're just going to go ahead and click on OK. Again, that turns it into a beautiful little hyperlink once it's set to broadcast. Okay, you also, as I mentioned, can add other images as well. And it does need to be a JPEG. Got to stress that. It has to be a JPEG, otherwise it won't take the file. Let me find the other one I was going to, there you go. Just drag and drop, boom. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and shrink that one as well so that all of these images look nice and neat once it's submitted to broadcast. Okay. So this is going to be my message with my contact information. All right. From there, I can click on save. All right. And then from there, this is where it's going to take me directly to when I want to broadcast. So again, we're testing the system. I'm not going to actually post this, but right here where I see date and time under the little calendar, this is where I can tell the system when I want that email to go through to all commercial members. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is some agents, what they like to do is they want to create 2 posts for their properties each week. If I want to pre-plan that, I can go into the system and then select the date, hour, and minute. And then once I set that up, I just click on done. And then I can schedule that message to broadcast. All right. Or if I want to copy it, maybe I want to add this into my separate email database so I can take advantage of the template. I can copy it and then paste it directly into a third-party platform as well, guys. All right. All right, perfect. Now that is it, guys. I do want to thank you very much for your time. Just want to recap real quick the biggest takeaways of making sure that you know how to use this commercial member-to-member platform. Please make sure that when you're updating your email preferences, what I mean by that is if you want to receive an email each and every time a commercial opportunity is available, or you want to make sure that you have that daily digest set up where you get one email, make sure you go over here in the top right. And then from there, go to update your profile. within the menu, and then make sure that you set up your preferences.